Welcome to week 5 of immunohematology. This week we switch gears and start a new unit with the first chapter being antibody detection and identification. This is the part of blood banking where you learn how to be a detective and solve problems based on the information that you've learned in the previous weeks. The antibody screen is the first test performed to determine if a patient has a reactive antibody present. If a reactive antibody is found, the next step is to go on and do antibody identification. Antibody identification is a somewhat complex but very methodical procedure that is conducted when we determine a patient has an unexpected antibody present. It is a complex procedure, and it is the point in blood banking where you do become a detective. And because of this, we're not going to master this in just 1 week. We're going to start with the basics this week. You'll see this again next week when we talk about compatibility testing. And we'll touch on it again later on in the immunohematology course. We'll also discuss more complex antibody identification cases in an upcoming student lab. So this is a topic that you'll get a lot of practice on, but we'll start with the basics this week. Special techniques are covered in this chapter, but this is something that is seen in more complex antibody identification studies, but I am going to point it out here. Information is contained in the course content on these special techniques. We will address these again next week when we touch compatibility testing, and we will touch on this again later on in the immunohematology course. So it's just an introduction this week with the expectation that you will see this again and hopefully understand it better at that point. Happy studying this week.